Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Jordan. Jordan is from England in the UK. So let's see what Jordan has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello, Jordan. How are you?
How you doing, William? Yeah, I'm good. How
I'm
are
very
you?
well. I'm very well. Thanks so
Good.
much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
No, of course. I'm
So tell,
honored, honestly.
so tell me, how's your day going so far?
Well, so Mondays I don't actually do a lot. It's like my main sort of day off. So I've just seen some friends, went with a friend to a local music shop and fiddled with their guitars because that was something free to do.
Wow. And tell me, where are you from?
So I have lived in a small town called Hastings for the majority of my life, but I now live in the city of Canterbury.
Oh, amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's the place where they have the very famous festival.
Yeah, the cathedral I can actually see it like from here. Like it's straight down there. Can hear
And
the bells every day as well.
and why there? Why did you change from there?
Well, I came up here to pursue my degree. I used to be a computer technician in a series of schools, and I sort of decided one day that it wasn't for me, um, and moved up here to pursue a completely different line of work, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
So so what are you doing right now? What do you do for work?
So currently, I've got a little part-time gig on the side, just doing work in retail. But
Mhm.
my degree that I'm studying for is a religion, philosophy, and ethics degree.
My God, very interesting. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So tell me the idea behind why did you want to study that?
So I would quite like, well, originally it was a bit of a pipeline idea. I wanted to be an exorcist. I found out that exorcists are a still employed thing. They exist in the Catholic Church and a lot in evangelical settings. So, I mean, I think there would be no surer way to know if there was something else than staring a demon in the face.
Wow. And besides that as well, I believe that you are a singer. You have a band,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so that was a bit of a strange one, really. I've always been into music, and when I was in a teenager, I was in a series of sort of middlingly crap pub bands. But I never really had the confidence to sing in front of anyone, really. My mum didn't hear me for years. I was in a choir as a kid, but then once I hit like sort of over the age of, I guess, seven-ish, I didn't sing anymore. And then I used to just play on the microphone to my friends when we were playing PlayStation 4 and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, and like sometimes, obviously, like if I did like Afro Mans because I got or whatever, all of the boys would quite enjoy that, and I mean, join in or whatever. So at a random point, I just decided to do a Pearl Jam cover, just to mostly take the mick a little bit out of the way that Eddie Vedder sings. No shade, I love Eddie Vedder. Pearl Jam is brilliant. But yeah, and then it did. I think it got one comment, but it did quite well on likes. And someone was like, "This is really good," and I was
Wow.
like, "All right, maybe I'll do more then."
That's amazing. And do you play very often? Do you practice your music?
um, yeah, almost every day. In honesty, I've been that way for about 4 or 5 years now that I play constantly. I was quite lucky in the schools that I worked at. They had cancelled the music department. There was no longer any funding for the teacher or whatever. So they just stopped using all of the guitars. And
Oh,
I went down one evening when I was on the evening shift and grabbed one, took it back up to my office, and then I would just sit there and play it like in between like doing things.
wow.
And honestly, I think that made my playing go like through the roof. But like, it was just the time, having that time to spend on it.
All right. So during the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your life and also about your
Yeah.
playtime. Okay.
Mm.
So before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you.
Oh, oh, that's an interesting one. I mean, a lot of people will know me from my music and stuff. I did used to do a little bit of MMA fighting. that's a bit of a different one.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Never went massively too far with it, really. Sort of, I don't know, all of this God stuff came to a point where I sort of moved, had a bit of a falling out with the coach for sort of personal reasons. I won't go into it because it'll just be a bashing session. But the actual black belt that I did really like and respect there, we're still in contact. He's lovely. But yeah, and then I mean, I've mostly done martial arts for the majority of my life. My dad was a 5-time black belt.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, so I sort of had no choice, really.
And
Yeah.
you have siblings as well?
What's that?
You have siblings as well?
Yes, I have two. So one is older. He is about 43, 44 now.
Yeah.
My dad had him when he was quite young with a different woman. But we got in touch quite a lot after my dad had passed. And we're still like quite close now. Um, yeah. He
And you
didn't
have,
really know my dad too well, so I think he sort of reached out to me to try and find a bit more out about my dad. But to be honest, there's not a lot I know about the man. So not for him, like he was around and stuff, but just the man lived a crazy life. We found out so much stuff after he died that we were like, whoa, when did all this happen?
Jordan, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yeah, sure, man.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So, I have here my best friend. Full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just going to play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Yeah, no worries.
Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Yeah.
Right, first question for you is, if you could be a character in a movie, who that would be and why?
Oh, that is a good question. Is it really basic if I say John Wick?
No, of course not. No, right?
Yeah. John Wick, I reckon, to be fair. That guy just seems like he's having a whale of a time, man.
You're a kind of person that watch more series or movies, cinema. What's your goal?
So, yeah, I quite like series more. I like a longer story that's had like a lot of thought put into it. You know what I mean? Some of my favorite stuff, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love that. But then I've been watching Dexter again recently. The Last Kingdom was also something that I recently finished. Fantastic. That was so good all the way through.
Funny enough, I had an interview yesterday with a lovely man. He's English, but he lives in Thailand right now, and he was telling about no, actually no, it's another one. He's from he lives near Liverpool, and he said that he loves Dexter, this series.
So good.
Amazing. Next question. Next question is, who is your biggest hero?
I think it's gonna have to be Kurt Cobain.
Tell me why.
I found him when I was a teenager. I'm slightly ashamed to admit I found him through American Horror Story. Not in any sort of cool way. My dad had introduced me to punk music, but I never found my way to Nirvana till that happened. And I just think, I mean, obviously there is the big taboo of him potentially killing himself. But I think outside of that, if you look at the things that he said and the actions that he portrayed outside of that, they were usually really positive. You know what I mean? He did a lot for sort of the LGBTQ community and just generally changed the world, I think, for more accepting ways.
Are you part of the LGBTQ plus community, Jordan?
I am actually completely straight, but I have a lot of friends that are sort of that way inclined. I like to think I'm of the Bob Catter category of let blossoms bloom.
And tell me for you, how was for you growing up back in Hastings? Yeah, that's the place where I grew up. Tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about your experience growing up over there.
Oh well, small seaside town, so not much and a hell of a lot at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, I sort of grew up in the skate crowd really. Found skateboarding when I was about 14 through some friends. I was in quite a popular group at the start of school and then decided it wasn't for me. I found their actions to be vacuous and boring. So one day I went and hung out with these strange skate kids that liked magazines and, you know what I mean, comic books and all that stuff and grunge music and but yeah, and that path really sort of saved my life in a lot of the times. I would when I was really down, the amount of times that I used to just go to the skate park, even if I wasn't going to skate, just to hang out, to see my friends and stuff. It was good times.
Actually, I've been in Hastings before. Actually,
Mm.
before the COVID,
Oh yeah,
I went for the day. Actually, we went to. I remember walking in the seaside by the city as
yeah,
well. And we went for the day. I remember we went to visit some. I don't remember now. So, oh, I remember now. You know these cards that what's the name of this? Where you can visit houses and castles. National Trust.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't-
National Trust.
Yeah, so I was a member before the COVID,
Oh
and
yeah,
I used to travel a lot around England and see some place. And I remember we went up there. I think we went somewhere to see, and we
yeah,
passed by the city and we had lunch there, and it was a nice day.
yeah.
It was summertime. Yeah.
You've got the caves up there as well. There's a really cool set of caves. Did you visit them at all?
I don't remember. No, I don't think so. I because
They're
we're
really good. So they were
yeah.
dug, like obviously, I think it was like the 1700s by smugglers. So when there
Uh-huh.
was a prohibition on alcohol and tobacco, basically people just dug caves into the side of the cliffs, and you can still go and visit them now. And
Interesting.
they would, yeah, use those for miles and miles, all the way to like neighboring towns. These tunnels go, and they were used for transporting alcohol and banned substances.
Wow, interesting. Next question.
Yeah.
Before the next question, tell me how music came into your life.
Well, my mum was a huge fan of stuff like Amy Winehouse and Corinne Bailey Rae when I was a kid. And my granddad, he liked sort of your more Queen rock influence, you know what I mean? The Rolling Stones. And my dad was a hardcore punk, sort of from the off. He was in the early punk movement. He liked things like Stiff Little Fingers. Used to listen to a lot of like Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, that sort of stuff. So I really think I got all ends of the spectrum sort of thrown at me as a kid. But they're all in their own respects quite musical people, really. I don't think one of them really goes very long without putting on the radio if it's quiet.
Amazing. And I like your voice. I like, the tone of your voice. You always have this tone of voice?
Yeah, pretty much. So I worked out that I could at least sing the way that I do when I was really young. I used to sing Nirvana songs to myself quite a lot. And I always kind of knew. I mean, I think some of the people that I used to know could probably tell you. I used to be like, well, yeah, I can sing like Kurt Cobain. And people would be like, sing then. And I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. I won't take it that far.
And
Yeah, like I say, then just one day I posted a thing, and then three posts in, one of them went viral,
wow,
and a year later, I'm still doing it. People want an album, so we'll give it to them soon.
amazing. And your family, they always supported you regarding music, your career?
Yeah, pretty much. My mum, she really likes my stuff. You can find her in the comments of stuff sometimes. My nan, she doesn't like the heavy ones. She is very adamant about that. Anything where I scream a little too much, she's like, don't like that. But if I do something soft, you know what I mean? All apologies. She's all over that.
Amazing. All right. Next question is talking about music. What would your theme song be if you had your own show?
Ooh. I think I would either choose Lounge Act or Territorial Pissings by Nirvana.
Wow. And what is about the song that defines you, that defines your show?
The Lounge Act holds a special place for me as out of all the Nirvana songs. It's always been kind of one of my favorites because I knew basically the first tattoo I ever wanted to get was the K Records logo that Kurt Cobain had. And I now, years later, ended up getting it. It looks terrible. It's supposed to look terrible. But yeah, so that one for me, there's a line in it where he says, "I'll arrest myself and wear a shield." And you know, that philosophically he's talking about like stopping himself from like getting annoyed at people and sort of being as aggressive as he wants to be. And then also just throws in the mention of wearing the shield. So yeah.
Nirvana band being your inspiration for your music and your career?
Yeah, big time. I love basically everything they've ever done.
Next question. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Hey, next question. What was your favorite part about school?
Ooh, I'm gonna say I won't name names, but it was prom. And on the prom night, two of my friends decided to have a fist fight out of absolutely nowhere. They were still friends. It was not in any way an aggressive thing. They just decided to have a fist fight at prom, and one of them got knocked clean out. That was the best moment of school. that thing was class to see. That was so good.
Oh my God! Who was your favorite teacher, if you had any?
That spot definitely goes to Mike Padgham, Mr. Padgham. He was my English teacher. He really took a shine to me. And when my English grade first came back, he took the time to go over my whole paper and then regrade it himself and send it back off to the people to be reanalyzed after his grading. And he got me the pass out of that.
Wow.
So I didn't have to retake, which was fantastic. Because he thought I'd been penalized too heavily for being dyslexic. So
interesting. Oh wow. Some teachers, they literally leave some impacts in our life, don't they? You know,
yeah.
Sometimes
There's
they even
not a lot of days that I don't think a little bit about Mike Padgham.
wow, that's amazing. Good one. Next question. Before the next question, I'd like you to tell me a little bit more about your course that you are taking right now.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating, the name, and actually I had so many, guests on the show here worldwide, and I never had a guest on the show who is studying, your degree, your career, and also related to exorcism, as you mentioned. So tell me a little bit about it.
So I'm on a combined honours course, which means I'll get 2 degrees instead of just the one at the end of it. So one half of my degree is the philosophy and ethics side, which is all sort of like the history of philosophy from Aristotle down to sort of John Hick, the modern day sort of equivalent. And then on the other side, we do the theology and religion side, which not only is Catholic theology, so it's like understanding the nature of the Trinity and stuff, how God is 3 in 1, but not really 3 in 1. You can't say it in that. It's the Trinity because they're all equal. Did a whole hour on that. That was... But yeah, in the philosophy stuff as well, we do sort of world religions. So like we did a whole few units on Sikhism, understanding sort of where they come from, the sort of creation myth that they have, and where that all was born out of. We did the same with Judaism as well. We spent a long time on understanding sort of the roots of Judaism from Moses to sort of the more present day stuff.
Wow. And so far for you, what have you enjoyed the most about your course, and what do you find most challenging about it?
So I have really enjoyed the ontological proof and learning about sort of schools of thought around that, like the ontological devil and stuff like that. The ontological proof, for sort of anyone that doesn't understand out there, is the idea that if God could exist, then God would exist. by his own nature, well, their own nature, I think God is a they, them. If you read the Bible, you'll get that beyond gender, they, them. Uh, but yeah, so it's the idea that if something that powerful had even the slightest possibility of existing, then it would exist. And in its own nature would be ineffable to a human mind. So the faintest understanding we would get is consciousness, which we have been gifted with. And no other animals, as far as we know, are conscious in the way that we are. So, you know, I mean, the ontological proof then leads on to sort of the understanding that if man is the way it is, then why love of enemy? Why do you have empathy for people that can do nothing but wrong to you?
Amazing. And the flip side, what do you find most difficult about your course so far?
I'm gonna be honest, there was a little part of me that went into it thinking I'd come out some sort of magician, being able to cast you know what I mean, runes and yeah, I thought, you know, I might get inducted into some sort of Vatican agency, but gonna be honest, nothing yet. Keep you updated on that.
All right. Next question is, what does money mean to you?
Not a lot, to be honest. Personally, I would just like enough to comfortably hang out with my partner every day for the rest of my life, if she would and didn't get that bored.
Oh, that's sweet. And do you think that money brings happiness?
No, I think that's definitely an internal thing. You can look at all of these people, Robin Williams, Kurt Cobain, Lane Staley, that had crazy loads of money, and it didn't help. And I think they serve in a way as a message to remind you that, you know, that does come from within. If you're not happy in yourself, you're not going to be happy with £1 million, are you? Do you know what I mean? You're just going to be sad with £1 million.
3 questions left. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You like dancing, Jordan?
Only when I am extremely drunk. Yeah. I seem to have like a real lack of rhythm on anything but a guitar until I am past a certain point of wasted. And then from my memory, people seem to think I'm a good dancer then. I don't know if it's actually the case. A video might make me want to die, so let's never find out.
That's funny. Next question is, if you could change something about yourself or in yourself, what that would be and why?
I don't really know. I'm kind of happy with myself the way I am these days. You know, if you'd have asked me that like 4 years ago, I probably would have had some answers, but I am the only me that exists as far as I know, so might as well be all right with it.
And saying that, what is the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Jordan?
I like that I can play guitar and sing. That is one of my favorite things that I can do. I think if I ever lost the ability to play guitar, it'd be a very different story. But there's something in playing music that just makes me happy in my soul. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. 2 questions left. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Before the next question, Jordan, what's the biggest joy? You know, tell me the feeling when you are playing your guitar, you are singing, you are doing, you know, the best of you. Tell me the feeling when you are, you know, doing your passion.
There is sort of a really weird sensation I get sometimes. If I'm, it happens more when I'm sort of on my own and playing, and it depends on sort of the song. But if it's a song that I think really sort of meant something to Kurt, and I can really feel the mood of that song in that day, sometimes I do kind of feel like he's almost with me. It's a really weird sensation. It's almost like someone loitering sort of over me there, but I can and I have to sort of at that point let it come out. It's almost like I tap into it and then it just does its thing.
Next question is, if you could meet yourself when you were 15 years old again, which advice would you give to yourself?
a Polaroid photo with my partner's name and address on it. Go find her, I'd say. That's it.
And why is that?
She's made me very happy since we met. I've never sort of felt like this about anyone. I haven't said this to you, but I'm getting married at the end of this year.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow. Oh, that's
She
sweet.
means the world to me, really.
Wow.
I don't know if she can hear this. She's in the other room, but
How did your paths cross, if you can share?
do you know, it was a really strange turn of fate, I guess. I was really sort of down and upset about a bunch of things that had happened in my life that were a bit much to deal with. And I'd been sort of drunk for about 3 days prior and had just started to sort of sober up and was having a real like deep philosophical conversation with myself. Like, you know, I'm gonna be a loner for the rest of my life. I'm not gonna let anyone near me, and like I'm just gonna be me. And then I went into a little corner shop to get a drink on my way to skateboard, and
Wow.
saw her, and I thought she was stunning. Straight out of the bat, I was like, wow, she's beautiful. And then I got so nervous that I just didn't say anything. Um, I had multiple opportunities in the shop. I spent some time. I was moving money from account to account because I get paid in one, and that's the whole thing. But
Wow.
and then yeah, I missed two whole opportunities at least to talk to her. And when I went outside the shop, she was there rolling a cigarette, and I was like, "This has got to be my chance." And then just as I was thinking that, she went to walk away, and I thought, I'm not just going to accost a woman in the street like that. That's a bit much in the sort of broad daylight. And then she dropped her tobacco on the floor, the brand new pouch. She just dropped it on the floor. So I immediately ran over to grab it and was like, "Oh, hey, you've dropped your tobacco. I also think you're really attractive. Would you like to go for a drink or dinner sometime?"
Wow.
Long story short.
You're gonna get married at the end of the year.
Yeah, October the 28th.
Oh my God.
I'll just pull that out. There's a little drawing I did of the time that we met as
Okay.
her going into the shop, me looking at her, dropping it.
Jordan, I've got goosebumps in my arms right now. What a beautiful story. My goodness. It's oh wow, if you could see my arm right now, you could tell my goodness, it's a beautiful energy. You know, I think it was the best, your best, you know, uh, let's say shopping that you ever done when you went there to buy a drink.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
okay, so let's see now. She's watched this interview without hearing, and you have the opportunity to send her a message. What would you say
Yeah.
right now?
Oh, just that I'm always gonna love her, I think. And I'll be there by her side through everything, thick and thin.
Sweet, very sweet. Last question, ready?
Yeah, go.
Let's do it. Last one. Before the last question, I'm going to ask a question in two parts. Yeah. The first part of the question is, through your career, tell me a moment or situation that you're never going to forget. For some reason, always going to have a special place in your heart. And the second part of the question is, people who listen to your music or see your gigs, you know, they appreciate your music. What's something that would you like them to take with them when they listen to you, when they see you performing?
Yeah. But music wise, I think the first time that someone was like, can you put this on Spotify? I want to listen to this every day. I had a message where someone was like, I want to listen to this stuff every day. When is it coming out? And for someone who for a long time was like, no one really wants to hear me sing, it'll be terrible. To hear that was pretty crazy. Still don't really know how to feel about it. Having genuine fans is strange.
Amazing. And the second part of the question, people listen to your music. What's the message behind it, like people to take with them?
I think just try and keep moving on. Life will always throw things at you that you do not like, but just keep rolling the ball. Like Sisyphus, you just got to keep rolling the ball. And you know, what feels like the biggest boulder right now, once you get to a different incline, it might feel fine.
Amazing. All right. Last question is, usually, what is the first thing that you think about when you wake up?
Oh, either my partner or rolling a cigarette.
That's funny.
And by cigarette, I mean a long one. But
That's funny. Oh, do you consider yourself to be more of a morning person or evening person? Right.
I am not a morning person. I am definitely an evening person. I don't sleep a lot often, maybe like 5, 6 hours a night. It's been that way since I was a teenager.
Uh-huh.
But so I'm usually sort of in my mind when it comes to night. I play a lot of chess after like 9 o'clock just to sort of like wind my brain down almost, which is a strange thing to say about chess, I think. That's okay. My hair looks awful today. It's permeated with sweat from playing that live a minute ago.
Did you always have the hair like that, like long hair?
Do you know, it's interesting. So I when I found Kurt Cobain, I left school, I grew my hair out and I dyed it blonde and then also red, exactly like he had it. And then once I got a real job and had to join the real world, I cut it all off and I didn't want to. I remember going to the barbers and being like, this isn't me. This isn't what I want to do or where I want to go. I mean, I'm having to cut my hair off. This can't be right. And then sort of once I had left the school environment, I'd started sort of growing out the bangs, and then I was just like, I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it. And then lo and behold, it naturally falls into this again. It is actually, I do have it business casual. The sides are shaved, so so I can be formal for meetings.
Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with money.
Guitar.
Fear.
Loathing.
Life.
Ooh, death.
Family.
Love.
And one word for love.
Ooh, a word for love. Lily.
Religion.
Life.
Sex.
Ooh, private.
Politics.
Dicey.
Friendship.
Important.
Desire.
Overrated.
Regrets.
Universal.
Success.
Can I use guitar twice?
Absolutely. Wish.
Record deal. That's 2 words, but
Happiness.
Sunshine.
I like that. One word for music.
Grunge. I'm just gonna go grunge.
One word for Hastings.
Decrepit.
Interesting. One word for, I always say wrong, Canterbury. Yeah, Canterbury.
Yeah. Murder. I'm gonna say murder.
Interesting.
Specifically because of the whole background of the cathedral. Really can't separate those two for some reason in my mind.
One word for England.
On its last legs.
Okay. One word for exorcism.
Demon.
Is the name of your band the Smashing Blouses? The name of your band?
It is currently the Smashing Blouses, but we were debating today about changing it to the Hideous Dresses. So
okay, so
subject to change.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say one word for your band. What would describe your band in one word?
I don't know if there is 2. I'm gonna say Hendrix Cobain. Those are the 2 that I would say.
Okay.
Trying to meld the 2.
And the last one now, one word for a singer.
Ethereal.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your fiancée, for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Jordan in one positive word and one negative word only. What should say?
I think she would say probably funny as a positive. And what was the other word?
Negative.
One negative. I reckon loud or noisy. Sometimes I can be kind of noisy.
Let's play now, Jordan, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before asking the question, back to the word association game. One word for Nirvana, the band.
Oh, soul.
Oh, amazing. You can ask me a question now, Jordan.
Yeah. So how did you get into this, my dude? What makes you want to do this?
Great question. 2020, when the world went upside down because of the COVID crisis, I believe that time a lot of people, they include myself, face a lot of challenges. What I mean. Not knowing was a big tricky to understand. Yeah, it was a bit tricky. And before that, I was already thinking about doing a project on YouTube where I could connect with people, express myself. And fun enough, I had a whole project, everything regarding music. I love music as well. I'm not a singer, but I love music. And of course, you cannot use, people's music on online because you're gonna get banned. Yeah.
You're welcome to use mine as a blanket thing. You can always use anything I've done, man.
Look, it's recording. Okay, I'm gonna use it. Okay?
Yeah, you can hold me to that.
So yes, before that, I was already thinking about doing something on YouTube, but I didn't know what. And one day I went for a run in the park. Remember where during the COVID you could leave the house one day for exercise?
Yeah.
So I was going for a run every afternoon, and one of those runs, this idea came along, and I was like, wow, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create some questions, I'm going to research some questions, and I'm going to invite random people around the globe. So that's how it started. And I think the show, it's about expressing myself and let my guests express themselves as well. So that's how it started.
That's cool. I really like the idea of the whole project, man. I think it's a really cool thing that you're doing, letting people voice their whole lives, because some people never get a chance to do that.
Absolutely. And you know what? When you are playing your guitar, you are, living your best. It's the same feeling I have when I'm here doing the interview. Trust me, it's the same feeling.
What's worth living for then, man?
Absolutely. When you're talking and describing your passion about your guitar, I was thinking to myself, I know what he means. I know exactly what he means about that.
Nice.
Did you enjoy the interview?
Yes, this has been lovely. Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be on here.
Thanks so much. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so sweet and kind and bring this good energy, genuine energy to the show. Thank you. Yeah. Before we go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
At dawn of day, when you dislike being called, have this thought ready. I am called to a man's labor. Why then do I make difficulty if I am going out to do what I was born to do and what I was brought into the world for? Is it for this that I am fashioned, to lie in bedclothes and keep myself warm? But this is more pleasant. Were you born then to please yourself? In fact, for feeling, not for action.
Wow. Do you meditate every day, Jordan?
It's become less and less sort of in recent times, but as you say, in COVID, I meditated a lot, sometimes for 6 hours a day.
Wow.
On my own quite a lot towards the end of that. So spent a lot of it meditating and thinking about life and the way that it was going and the way that it could go and why it happens in the first place sometimes.
Easy. And what's the meaning of life for you?
Now that I don't know. And I think I'll only know when I get to the end of it.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Thanks for the interview. And, wishing all the best on this beautiful day coming in October for you, your fiancé. And I just wish all the best and enjoy the journey. Okay? Thanks so much for the interview.
Thank you very much, Will. God bless you. And I shall catch you on the other side.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Okay? Have a good night. Take care.
See you later, man.
Bye. Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first subscribe to our channel, and after that just go to our website www.williamandthemagicbox.com and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.